let's take a look at how to create a Andy Warhol type pop art picture. So I have my picture here. This is just in the Photos app on my iPad. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Edit. And on the left-hand side, there are the filters. So I'm going to tap that. And I have these different filters. Now, I want it to be black and white. Now, normally I would go to like a noir. But this seems a bit too contrasty. You can't really see my face. So I'm going to go with mono and press done. Now, I'm actually going to send this, copy this photo, and I'm going to go into Keynote. There's a reason I go into Keynote, and I'm going to paste. And so I'm actually going to create this color in Keynote. But let me show you another way of doing that back in Photos. Now, this isn't my favorite way, but this is another way. So I can go into Edit, and up at the top, there are the three dots, and there's Markup. Now with Markup, there is a highlighter over here. Now I can color this in. So for example, I could choose a color like maybe an orange. And the key here is turn the opacity down. I'm going to turn it down to sort of the 30 range. And I'm just going to color in over top of my face. Now I'm not lifting my pencil here. Okay, so I can color over top. It's not as precise, but you can see I'm coloring over top here. The reason I don't lift my pencil, I'll show you in a second. Let me just see if I can get my neck. Okay, when I do lift my pencil, it gives me sort of that, layers it, okay? So I could do something like that if I'm trying to, but this isn't my favorite way of doing this. I'm just gonna press done because there is something that's missing that I have an option in Keynote. So in Keynote, I can use my Apple Pencil as well, or I can just use a regular stylus. This works, but here's the key. There is this color paint, and it's gonna make my life so much easier. So this is where I prefer to do my Andy Warhol type pictures. So let's choose that orange again. Same thing. Let's go down into 30% range. And now with this, I'm going to trace, and I'm just gonna go again around. There we go. And later on I'll do the outside, but I want to sort of get this, and I'm gonna overlap it just on the outside a bit. There we go. Now one of the great things is I can go to this pencil and choose this and change the opacity. Now I'll just show you what it looks like at 100%. That's not what I want. But I can go back down in here and I could change it to a different color. So I could come into this blue in here and sort of change it like that if I want. So, maybe I'll start with that actually. And now I'm gonna go back to my paint. I'm gonna choose a different color. Let's go with sort of maybe this color in here. Turn the opacity down into the 30s. Again, I can always change that afterwards. I'm gonna sort of maybe go out a bit here because I want, I'm going to try to trace it's easier to trace when you're closer. But if I go off the page here, see, it doesn't really matter to me. Let's go in here. There we go. So I've got my shirt. I want to go back to that blue that I had before. Oh, I forget what it was. I could have saved it. So what I could have done is I could have gone here and added that, so now I save that blue. But for now, this will be fine, because I want to just color this part of my arm. Now what I want to do here, I want to try to do, let's move this out of the way. Oops, there we go. I want to overlap a bit. Now it's really hard because it's on the edge of my iPad, so it's easier if I have a little bit of black space down there. And I'm gonna overlap that. I don't want a gap in there. There we go. I'd rather overlap like that than have a gap. You can see the gap in here. So the next thing I'm going to do, let's pick a color for my background. Hey, why not? Let's do something like that orange. And let's go, again, down into the 30-ish%. I can always change it later. But let's make it so that, let's get this out of the way. There we go. That's going to make my life a lot easier. Let's start down here. And again, I'm just going to go to the edge there. That doesn't bother me. Go around. I'm going to trim this afterwards. I could I could have made the slide a different size if I wanted to. And again, I'm trying to go in a bit here, in overlapping. I'd rather not have gaps if I can avoid it. It'll happen, but if I can, I really want to avoid that. There we go. There we go. I've got my color. You can see a few gaps up there. Let's add a color to my hair. What color should I choose? Maybe like this pink or something. I like that. Let's make it quite. I'm going to come in here. And again, I want to overlap. If I can get closer like this, I think that's going to make my life a lot easier. So I don't have those gaps, the transitions, the colors will overlap. But I really don't mind that at all. Oops, you see there how that color messed up a bit there. I can overlap here as well with the same color. Like if I do that, it'll just overlap. So you can explore, undo, you can explore overlapping. Andy Warhol often overlapped colors, and so you can layer your colors and have some fun with that. So that's one of the things you can do. Now I really want to color in these. I like the background and I want to color that in. So I'll speed this next part up for you so you're going to be able to, so you don't have to watch me color each one of these, but I'm just going to add some other colors to the background. Okay, so now you can see I've added some more color to it. I kind of really like how it's looking. One of the things you can do, so for example, I could get a color like this, and turn the opacity down. And actually, the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm really happy with this. So I'm going to tap up on here and copy it. Now, this is one of the things I really like about doing this in Keynote, is that now I have another copy. I don't have to ruin my first one. I can experiment. So now I'm going to get this color that I talked about. And if I double tap on any one of these shapes, it will layer that color in there. Okay, so I can try something different. And let's try another one. Or the other option is I could select something like this. You can see I've selected that shape. And I could change that color here. So instead of layering the colors, I could go and do something like that. So now I have all these, I can experiment with different versions of what I've got. So really, really, really quick for me to be able to go in here and try some different things and create some art. And I've done the work up front, and now I've got these different versions. So the next step is, up in the top right corner, there's the 3 dots, and I can export. Now this is one of the things I love about Keynote, is I can export these as images. So these are going to come out as JPEGs. I could have them as TIFFs or PNGs, but I'm just going to export them as JPEGs, and I'm going to save these 4 images. So when I go to back to my photos, let's go done with this one. Remember this one? How I don't have a lot of flexibility, and if I mess up, it's a lot harder to deal with. So that one I have it's a lot easier for me to deal with. Let's just go to the newest photos that I've just added. Here we go. And one of the things you'll notice is that these images are off the edges. Okay, so what I can do is I can edit, and I can just crop this nice and easy. Again, I could have made I could have changed the canvas size in Keynote, but this is fine. This is easy enough for me to do. So really, really fun thing to do. Really easy in Keynote. And yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. There we go. Give it a shot.